I'm going to talk about introduction to physiology. Uh, this stuff I took from Guten and Hall's book, and in this PPT, I'm going to talk about first chapter. Let's start with the definition. Physiology is the science of physical and chemical mechanism that sustains life. If I talk about its scope, it into viral, bacterial, cellular, plant, invertebrate, vertebrates, mammalian, and human physiology. Human physiology explain how the human body functions as a living being, and there are life-sustaining mechanisms like hunger, fear, cold, reproduction, and social interaction-driven survivals, where physiology work against these mechanisms, and it connects basic science to medicine through cellular tissue and coordination. Moving forward to the next slide, control system in the human body. There are two levels of control. One is genetic level, which programs molecule synthesis at DNA level. Second is the nervous and hormone system, coordinates cell tissue and organ functions. The body is more than the sum of its parts. It's a coordination is essential, which is essential for the health and function. And the pathophysiology is study of disorder body functions, which forms the foundation of clinical medicine. The cell, the smallest functional unit of body. There are 35 to 40 trillion cells of various types. For example, 25 trillion cells, red blood cells, and white blood cells. Each cell type has specialized role. For example, RBCs transport oxygen, WBCs work as a macrophage, and the common feature of all cells, one is energy use, second is chemical reactions, third is reproduction. Most cells can regenerate to replace damage. There is a little topic about the microorganisms in the human body. Trillions of microbes live on or in the body. For example, skin, gut, and mouth. These are called microbiota. And if I talk about this number, it's around the 400 to 1000 species, which outnumber human cells, which helps in digestion, immunity, and other vital functions. What Bernard's concepts. It says that about 50 to 70% of the adult human body is fluid, mainly a water-based solution of ions and nutrients. Most of this fluid is inside cells, so it is called intracellular fluid, and about one third of it is outside the cells, so that is called extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid moves through the circulating blood and diffuses through capillary wall to reach tissues. It supplies essential substances like oxygen, glucose, ions, amino acids, and fats to the cell. Extracellular fluid is also known as the internal environment of the body. This specific term was introduced by French physiologist Claude Bernard. So, based on that person's name, the concept was given. So, cell depends on the proper balance of these substances to function and survive. Composition of body fluids. In If I talk about the extracellular fluid, it includes high in sodium, chloride, bicarbonates, and it contains oxygen, glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids. Uh, Another side, intracellular fluid, high in potassium, magnesium, phosphate, which help in maintaining the ion balance through specialized transport mechanisms. Next is the homeostasis. It refers to the maintenance of nearly constant internal conditions despite external or internal changes. The term was first time given by the Walter Cannon in 1929. The internal environment, which especially the extracellular fluid, is regulated within narrow ranges for variables like pH, sodium levels, temperature, etc. For example, blood hydrogen ion concentration varies by only nanomoles per liter, while sodium varies by millimoles, still tightly controlled. The smaller difference is maintained through complex control system involving nervous, hormonal, cellular mechanisms. Next is the key function of homeostasis in different systems. First one is the circulatory system, where it moves extracellular fluid and blood throughout the body in two stages: blood flow via vessels and exchange between blood and tissues through capillary diffusion. And next is ensured distribution of oxygen, nutrient, and removal of a waste. If I talk about the respiratory system, where it provides oxygen to blood and removes carbon dioxide as major base product of metabolism, as well as gains a gas exchange occurs across a very thin alveolar membrane in the lungs. Third one is the gastrointestinal tract, where it absorbs nutrients like glucose, amino acids, fats into the bloodstreams, and it also helps maintain eliminate undigested and waste materials via feces. Next in the liver and metabolic organs, where it modifies and store nutrients from use by the cells. Detoxification, where it removes harmful substances and secrete waste into the bile. Kidneys, where it filter blood to remove metabolic waste like urea, keratins, excess ions, and water, as well as reabsorb essential substances back into the blood. Uh, Last one is the muscular skeleton system, where it allows for movement, enabling access to food and avoidance of danger, essential for survival and supporting the body's internal regulation. Here you can see the general organization of circulatory system and diffusion of fluid and dissolved constituents through the capillary walls and interstitial spaces. Control and regulation includes three systems: nervous system, autonomic nervous system, and hormonal system. Nervous system includes sensory input, central processing in the brain and spinal cord, and then the motor output. In the autonomic nervous system, it operates subconsciously to regulate internal organs like heart rate, digestion, glands, secretions. Third one is the hormonal system, which comprises endocrine glands that secrete hormones into the blood. Where hormones regulate growth, metabolism, and other cellular functions. Next is diseases caused by the disruption of homeostasis. For example, if your kidneys are not working well, they may not remove salt properly. This builds up salt in your body, cause your blood to hold more water, which leads to high blood pressure. In another word, we can say the body still attempts to compensate. For example, kidneys retaining salt, then ultimately high blood pressure to maintain balance. This is a kind of mechanism to maintain the homeostasis. Next is the compensate. These compensatory mechanisms may become maladaptive over time, continuously for over a long period of time, contribute to chronic conditions. For example, hypertension leading to kidney damage. For example, long-term high blood pressure, hypertension puts stress on your blood vessels and organs. It can actually damage your kidney, heart, or brain, make the original problem more worse. Okay, going forward to the control system in physiology. There are two examples of control mechanism. One is oxygen and carbon dioxide regulation, and second one is the arterial blood pressure. In the first one, where oxygen maintained by the hemoglobin in red blood cells, hemoglobin acts as an oxygen buffer, releasing or holding oxygen based on tissue needs. Next is the carbon dioxide. High carbon dioxide simulate respiratory center, increases breathing rates, lower CO2. This negative feedback prevents CO2 accumulation and maintains normal cell function. Second one is the arterial blood pressure regulation. Baroreceptors located in the carotid arteries and aortic arc sense arterial wall stretch and send signals to the medulla, which ultimately cause high pressure, inhibit vasometer center, decrease heart rate, and dilate blood vessels. Pressure drop down and lower pressure activate vasomotor center, increase heart rate and vasocontraction, and contraction pressure rises. Continues with the previous slide, here I would like to talk about the negative and positive feedbacks. Negative feedbacks is the most common mechanism work by contracting the initial disturbance to restore normalcy. For example, in carbon dioxide increases, it increase the respiration rate, so the carbon dioxide will drop down. For similarly, blood pressure raises, baroreceptors respond, and then blood pressure decrease. So in this way, it gives negative stimulation. For formula for gain is the gain is equal to correction by error. So here you can understand, and there is an example below, so you can understand better from here. And next is the positive feedback, which amplify the initiating stimulus, can lead to vicious cycle and death, but sometimes beneficial. uh, I will talk about its use in harmful as well as how it is useful. For example, where it is harmful, when hemorrhage, decrease cardiac output, coronary flow decreases, then heart failure, which ultimately leads to death. In useful examples, for example, childbirth, where cervical stretch and strain, which send signal to stronger contractions and baby delivery. Next one is the blood clotting, where it activates the clotting factors, amplify clot formation. And third one is the nervous impulse transmission, sodium influx, more channel opening, and here it ions transportation. Let's talk about about deviation. When there is a small changes or even a little changes can cause serious effect or death. For example, low potassium cause paralysis, high potassium cardiac depression, low calcium tetanic muscle contraction, low glucose mental irritability or convulsions, high temperature increased metabolism or cell damage. These are the few takeaways. This is the reference from where I took content, and thank you.